Once upon a time, I turned 26 and I realized I had wasted my life. I had wasted my life working hard, worrying about money, stressing about how I'm going to meet my next deadline, thinking about the shareholders. It's always about the damn shareholders. I began working when I was 19 years old. I rose up through the ranks and reached a considerable senior level at a very young age. And then one fine day, it hit me like a sack of bricks. I totally missed the part where I was supposed to live a little, like a regular human being. I hated my life. I was distracted by all the grown up stuff. That's when I decided to chuck all my responsibilities in the can. This is not a joke. In all seriousness, I do not want to be an adult. I want to go back to being 19 years old, preferably 16. But we all can't get what we want, right? So stick with me. Let's get back to our topic. So, a few weeks ago, I threw myself wholeheartedly into the fantastical panels of the comic book world. And the first book I picked was Immortal Thor. No particular reason. It's the first book which stood out, and I didn't want to waste any more of my time. So I went with it. I had read comics before, graphic novels too. I was not new to all of this. But what I was new to was this Thor's world. The Thor I met in the panels was a lot different than the one I saw on the silver screen. He was a lot wiser, mightier, and older, and so was his world. It felt lived in. A lot had happened before I joined in as a reader. Odin was dead, Thor was married to Sif, Loki was gender fluid, and a few primordial beings ruptured the fabric of time and space to come back and wreak havoc. Without spoiling too much, let me give you a primer on what's going on. The story begins with a dark, mysterious being awakening from a forgotten time. This mysterious being is rambling something about Hot Wheels and merry-go-round, but enough about him. It's not about him. Okay? It's not about him. Yet, before you can fully grasp its significance, you're thrown into the middle of a chaotic battle between blue-eyed giants and Thor's allies. And then Thor arrives. When I say arrives, I mean he arrives, splitting the sky in two, thunder roaring, wielding Mjolnir like a cosmic sledgehammer. It's pure adrenaline on the page. But Thor isn't the only one we're talking about. We'll get back to him in a hot minute, but let's talk about Loki. In these pages, the Loki presented is so different. I mean, the movies don't do him justice. Here, he is more than just an annoying, mischievous mini god. Here, he is more of a poet, a scribe, a skald, as Thor calls him. He's a god slash goddess of stories. He's important. His web connects them all. Coming back to Thor, he's different too. Through the stories of Loki, whatever I could piece together, I can tell he has grown so much as a character. He went from stereotypical medieval flavored jock nepo baby to a fully grown man with a fully functioning prefrontal lobe. From a boy to the all-father. Immortal Thor comes to life through the talents of Ewing, Martín Cóccolo, and Matthew Wilson. Hope I didn't butcher their names. If those names sound familiar, it's because they were part of the team behind Immortal Hulk, a critically acclaimed series that reimagined the Hulk as a horror story. The use of Immortal in the title isn't just a coincidence, it's a promise. Al has openly said that using this title is a challenge to himself, to bring the same epic scope and emotional depth to Thor that he did to the Hulk. In an interview, Ewing explained, "Putting Immortal on a book I'm writing is a promise to the reader and to myself. I was the one who pitched the title, not editorial, not anyone else. And it was basically a self-challenge. Can I do a book like that again? Can I do my end of it better this time? I have to try, because the alternative is just lie down and let the grass grow where I fell." And so far he's delivering. Martin's art is breathtaking, blending the grandeur of Thor's mythological roots with modern comic aesthetics. Matthew Wilson's colors are vibrant and atmospheric, bringing every panel to life. And Alex Ross's cover art, absolutely iconic. It's a perfect blend of old school charm and modern sensibilities, capturing the essence of Thor's character and world. Needless to say, the art is absolutely amazing. They're ticking all the right boxes. This feels like a love letter to the golden age of comics. It is the right mix of old school and modern. This theme is followed in the rest of the book too. You can say its one foot is grounded into the golden years of Thor's stories and the other foot stepping into the modern likings. This, for Thor, feels like a step back to form. It is a return to a classic mythical Thor status quo. Thor's world is depicted as both majestic and gritty, with sweeping landscapes, towering giants, and intricate details that draw you in. The action sequences are dynamic, each panel crackling with energy, and the quieter moments, They're just as powerful too, filled with emotion and nuance. If you're new to comics, Immortal Thor is an excellent starting point. It strikes a balance between accessible storytelling and rich, layered lore. You don't need to be an expert on Thor's history to enjoy it, but there's plenty for long-time fans to sink their teeth into. The themes of growth, responsibility, and legacy resonate deeply, making this more than just a superhero story. Is it the greatest comic ever written? Probably not. Is it the definitive Thor story? Only time will tell. But what I can say is that it's captivating immersive experience that's worth your time. I have a dozen more issues to read. I'll go through them and keep you updated. But god, I hate my job so much. The relief I have felt by immersing myself into this book is immeasurable. I can't really put it into words. I wish I could do this full time, but hey, let's. Reading Immortal Thor has been a revelation for me. It's not just about the story or the art, it's about the escape. For a few hours, I wasn't worrying about deadlines or shareholders. I was soaring through the skies with Thor, weaving tales with Loki, and facing cosmic threats that made my real world problems feel small. So here's my advice to you: stop being an adult for a while, pick up a comic, lose yourself in the story. Live a little. And if you're looking for a place to start, Immortal Thor is as good a choice as any. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a dozen more issues to read and a soft, inviting bed calling my name. The all sleep is taking over me. Until next time, remember, life's too short to be all grown up.